It's been over 10 days since the government shutdown began, and its impact is still being felt across the economy. Just as markets were starting to find their footing, Donald Trump announced new plans for massive tariffs on China. Then, a few days later, he reversed course, calling it all a misunderstanding and saying that the US wants to help China, not hurt it. So let's break down what actually happened, what these moves mean for our future, and how it's already impacting stocks, crypto, and the broader economy. In the last video, we broke down why the shutdown started. Since then, not much has changed as lawmakers are locked in negotiations and no deal has been reached. A few funding bills have made it through the House, but they fall short of the 60 votes required to move forward in the Senate. With the Senate adjourned till Tuesday, the government will remain partially shut down to the start of this week. And while the debate continues in Washington, the effects are spreading across the country. Around 800,000 federal employees have been furloughed, and essential employees are still showing up without pay. The longer this drags on, the heavier the strain becomes, not just on families, but public services and the economy. Then, on Friday, something happened that added even more uncertainty. China announced new export controls on rare earth metals, the same materials used in everything from semiconductors to military tech. The US is heavily reliant on these imports. While the administration has been trying to ramp up production, this move takes time, and that's why it exposed a real vulnerability. In response, Trump said that his team was calculating potential tariff increases, and other countermeasures were under serious consideration. He also warned that tariffs could be implemented November 1st or sooner, depending on further action taken from China. The reaction was immediate. The S&P 500 fell 2.7%, and crypto markets also pulled back, with Bitcoin sliding 10% as investors shifted towards safer assets. Then, just days later, everything flipped. Trump tweeted that the whole thing was a misunderstanding, adding that the US doesn't want to hurt China and that everything is going to be fine. That single message changed the tone overnight. Bitcoin jumped around 5%, but it also raises new questions about timing and intent. Whenever a single post can move markets this much, it's hard not to wonder who stands to gain the most. When the news broke about new potential tariffs, investors knew how deeply connected our supply chains were, and they knew the implications of what's to come. So what are tariffs and why do they matter? Whenever a country imposes a tariff, it's basically putting a tax on an imported good. But the tax doesn't just disappear. It moves through every link in the supply chain. Here's how it works. The importer pays the tariff whenever the good arrives in the United States. Because most importers operate on thin margins, they rarely absorb that cost. Instead, they pass it on to US buyers, like distributors and manufacturers. Many manufacturers in the United States rely on these imported parts or raw materials. So whenever the inputs get more expensive, they face a choice: take the hit or raise their prices. And that's where it reaches everyday people. By the time it reaches the consumer, the added cost is already baked in. We've seen it before after previous rounds of tariffs, where analysts have recorded clear inflation in goods prices. These last few days have shown us just how fast the narrative can flip. Just one tweet or one policy and the entire tone of the market shifts. The question now isn't just what happens next, but how is this truly going to affect us? As always, thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.